Writing music for any kind of medium, any kind of commercial medium, is a form follows function situation. If you're sitting at home and you're writing music by yourself, you're going to write very different music than you would if you were looking at a picture, a game, a film, a television show. With no deadlines to meet, our creative vision rules, and that's all that matters. As we start to write music for different mediums, we have to understand the syntax of those mediums and understand what is and what isn't possible. For example, in a film, right, we're all very familiar with the paradigm of scoring for film. So we have to understand how to create a piece of music that can last for an indeterminate length of time, for example. Game composers have to deal with a whole host of issues that don't exist for linear media. All sorts of basic questions arise. For example, if I don't know when a level's going to be over, how long do I make the piece of music? If the action speeds up on the screen, should the music speed up on the screen as well? And if so, how can I make that happen? Questions, questions, questions. In fact, really basic questions like, how long does the music need to be? How long will the user stay in this area? These are all unknowns, but still our music has to adapt, integrate, and provide a satisfying user experience. So, get ready for a fun ride. We're going to look at some of the ways that music is conventionally used in games. But first, let's do a little bit of a history lesson. Why? Well, it's important to understand what went on in the past so we understand where the conventions that we're dealing with here in the present came from. In fact, you may just be surprised how much of the old is new again. First games had no sound, had no music, talking about the 1940s through to about the late 1960s. This was the silent film era of games and of gaming. Now, during the 1970s, video games began to explode on the industry. They were led by titles such as Pong and Space Invaders. Now, at this time, audio recording technology had not yet come of digital age. Phonograph records, cassette tapes, these were the standards of the day. So these music platforms, they were clunky, expensive, and hard to or next to impossible to integrate into a game. So it's no wonder that game developers turned to digital music generation. The trick was to get the latest electronic music techniques into games for writing music. Using synthesizers to generate musical tones was the state of the art in the game world, and the tone generator was a computer chip, changing electrical impulses from computer code to generate real-time synthesizer music, which was then output to speakers. Voila! The birth of a new kind of electronic musician, using cutting-edge, low-budget technologies to create musical soundtracks. Now, a lot of you who may have worked in the universities or have studied electronic music know that video game music and electronic music parallel themselves to a certain degree.